Hello and welcome to a 7 Days to Die map tutorial. I guess if you call it a tutorial. So I was asked by a couple people about doing how I make a map for 7 Days to Die. Um, it used to be a lot easier and smoother. It's not bad now. I still do a lot of the map creation, but I didn't have to do a lot of the changing of heights and that sort of stuff. And as you can see from the picture that's on the screen, we're going to do a Thanksgiving map. Okay, so those of you who are not in the United States, I am sorry that this probably doesn't mean a whole lot to you. But if you're in the United States, I got your turkey. Okay, first off, I use GIMP. Why? Because it's free. And if it's free, it works for me. Okay, so first off, you want to make sure, you see right here, up where my mouse is, if you can see where I'm pointing, you want this to be for an 8K map, 8192 by 8192. Otherwise, Tarragon will not look at it right, which we'll get to Tarragon later. Or what is it, 4096 or 2048 or whatever the next one is. What would that be, 10 something, 1096? I don't know. No, it's not that. But if you want to go bigger. But usually I do 8K maps. For skirmishes and small things, I might go a little bit smaller. But this is what I work with here. So the first thing, which I've already done, and I'll kind of show it to you here, is you find a picture you want, or you can free draw it. I'm just doing a picture this time. Now, you take your time, you come up with that. This, that. So, doesn't have to be perfect. As you can see, was just drawing it by hand with this, so it's different, right? But close enough. You can tell with it it's turkey. And what I say it doesn't need to be perfect is because when you put it in the map program, it's going to change things anyways. Okay, so now that you see what this is, we're actually going to go ahead and get rid of this layer. And I'm not going to go over a whole lot how to use GIMP. You can do this with any picture program, Adobe, whatever you want. I just like this. So delete layer. Now we just have these two layers. Now one issue I saw with it, if I am, it should be okay. Let's start coloring this in first and see what we get. Okay, so right over here, if you see where I'm at, my mouse is swinging. This is your color palette, right? Right now we're zeros across the board. That's deep, deep. That's the deepest you want to be for your water. So just go pure black. Now, I want to go a little bit above water. So how would I do that with this? Well, you move this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 would be 6 blocks above water. Or not above water. Yeah, above the depth of the water. And then with the program, you can kind of set it. What we're going to do is we want a little bit deeper water. We're going to go to a 10 and hit OK. Now, each one, you kind of have to have a plan. How do I want this for thickness? Do I want each one to be raised? Do I want this to be higher than everything else? How do we want to do it? But once you figure out you have a plan, you click that. Okay, see, we filled. I'm probably going to leave this the way it is. On a normal map, I would hit that again to get rid of those lines. And let's scroll in. So you're going to have this, and that's still black. Now you're going to have white here. So what I might do is go like this. Oh, and it got rid of it. Let's hit Control Z. Going a little bit more and see if I can't get the white. Nope, it's not going to let me. Do Control Z. Oop, I did not hit Z. Control Z. Now you notice how that's not the right color though. So let's go back to black. And we're 10, remember 10. Go back to black. And we're just going to see if we can't just hit it. Yep. So sometimes it doesn't blend right. So the other way around this, if you have this, and I'm showing you this because, see, now let's look. So we're going to make that black out there too, but that's actually kind of reddish, isn't it? You know what? Let's leave it. Let's see what it gives us, right? This is trial by error for everybody too. That might actually be black. I don't know. So let's go back here and set this back at our 10. And let's fill in any area that we want to be about that level. I think we're going to do that. I think we're going to try his neck. And sometimes if there's a break, it'll color everything. And this is actually part of his neck too. So let's do those. The wings will go one color higher. Let's do the sunglasses in the same. Okay, and like I said, this is all trial and error. That's the cool thing about this. You can do whatever you want. Okay, so now let's take it up. Another 5. Oh, and these lines, the outline. When I'm doing that, you want to use one of these 3 right here. This one, or this one. Because see how it's got that kind of fades out? That will make it fade more into the water. Where if it's just a hard break, it's actually going to just drop, which I've had maps like that, and I still do. It just drops right down into the water. It's hard to get back out of the water. Okay, so we're going to do that. We went up to 15, so that's 5 more blocks up. Let's hit OK. I think I'm going to do the wing. Oops. Let's hit Control 0 because I was still on that. Let's go back to this. Let's do the wing. Let's do this part of the wing. What do you think? The hat? Like that? Now let's go up higher to 20. And this is just a basic. We will do different things here. I might do more of these depending on how everything goes. And we might get a little bit more into how to make mountains, that sort of stuff. This is just, like I said, just a basic to try to show you how you can kind of do a quick map and get you going. Okay, I think we're going to do each of these at different height. So let's do that. Now let's hit these. Like I said, I'm just form filling these. And then let's do the face. So like that. And let's do the center buckle. Now each of these, like I said, will be different heights. You can actually set in Tarragon. You can make them different biomes by the heights. I don't really usually do that. I just go in and recolor the biomes, which I haven't looked lately. It does actually give you kind of a neat thing for that, to where a lot of times when you change it, you'll get less weeds and stuff. Okay, we're going to do the feet here too on that one. And then let's do the buckle. Let's do that. Now let's go another 5 this time. And if you need to, I hit Control, scroll up, and that will bring you in here. Now see, there's actually going to be a lot of that white will actually be really high. So we might actually have to go back and change that, but we'll see. Now we'll go here, 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 here. And no, stop saying here, right? Okay, now let's go 5 more up. And then we'll hit that one. All of these beautiful little things. Make some happy little trees. And whoop, whoop. See, if you hit wrong, sometimes it does that. Okay, do we want to do anything else here? I say let's go a little bit higher. Take me higher. And then let's do that one. That one. And right now, this isn't water. Right now, this would actually be the highest you can go on the map. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, now we'll show you on that one. We'll have to go back and we'll hit that one again. Okay, so we have a, Control, scroll in, right there it is. As I say, so we have a break somewhere. Let's do the eyedropper, so we're getting the same color. Let's do this. Connect it. Eyedropper, let's get our color again. And see? So yeah, if you have a break in it, it's going to do that. Now let's go up. 5 more. Oops, somehow we got off a little bit there, which is okay. We'll hit OK. Let's do the nails. Now I want to do 5 more up. Hit OK. And we'll do the beak. Okay, now we've got that. Our turkey's looking awesome, right? Let's hit the black, which that's not quite black. We want it to be 0 all the way across. That's black. And then hopefully, yep, it doesn't fill the whole thing. It just fills that. So this will, everything that's black will be water, and then every other one will be up a little bit. Now let's scroll in and let's see. Sometimes I can go like this. Now see, that's going to separate everything with water, and that made the body. So we don't want to do that, do we? You know what we can do? Let's actually cancel that. Let's see if we do the same as the body. Now let's try to do that and see what happens. Okay. Now we killed a lot of the body there though, didn't we? Let's redo. Control Z. Why is Control Y redo? That's all the way away. I'm just trying to look and see what we think here. See, that gets rid of a lot of this, though. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to flatten image, so it's all one image. We're going to export this to somewhere where we'll know where it's at. So export as. For me, right now, pay no attention to this. I'll show you here in a second. Because I don't think it shows me on the desktop where it is I actually want to go, which is generated worlds Inc. I want to go to generated worlds. Okay, so let's just do Thanksgiving map and save it to desktop. Hit export. Oh, and this you want this to be a PNG. See the .png right there. Okay. So let's trying to figure out here. Let's go ahead and okay. So I don't know if that actually stopped recording. Are we still recording? Yes, we are. Okay. Hopefully that paused. If not, I'll have to edit it out. Okay. So where you want to go is, however, if this is where it is, this is my roaming folder. So this is how I do it. This PC, whatever your local disk is, users, this is mine, app data, roaming, 7 days to die, generated worlds. And see, I did another one that didn't turn out all that great. Just to see if I had to change it or not. So I copied it. Let's paste it in here. Let's go extra large. So there's our map. Now let's close that. Let's go to Tarragon. Okay, it did look like it paused it, so good. Here's Tarragon. I have some settings already set up. You'll have to play with your settings, really. Tarragon's a very nice piece of software. You probably hear my neighbor mowing. But it does have a steep learning curve. So I downloaded one because you can do different stuff with it. You can load different settings, that sort, and play with it. Maybe we'll do one. I can't think of his name. There's a YouTuber. Let me look. Okay, so this is actually in Tarragon's Discord, and you can go to YouTube also. But here's his name right here, Remus. He has some very good tutorials on there if you want to watch them. And if you watch all of his tutorials and learn it all, excuse me there, hiccuped. If you learn it all, you'll be more of a master than I am in no time. But hey, you can see all my stuff. There's my Discord, and I have friends. There's my buddy Crab Clown Jimmy's Discord. The guy Knife Heads Games. He does play by post. I have Dice Dungeons, which they actually have an awesome book coming out on Kickstarter. It is Cryptids for 5e if you're into tabletop RPGs. Got my buddy Hotch, the Spud Club. He's on YouTube. Does a good job. We got B Gaming, another great guy. He has some 7 Days to Die server and runs my maps a lot. Foundry and then Tarragon. Okay, so let's get rid of that. So you click here, find your map. My map is Thanksgiving map now. And like I said, you'll have to watch more of the tutorials. I have it set up right now. You can go through, take off erosion stuff, and erosion works good. Diffuse biomes, vanilla style biomes, that gives you kind of the fan biomes. Right now, I have this as Mega City. So we'll see how it actually turns out. And I come over to my expert. I have this all set up the same already for most of my builds. And I thought I better check, make sure I'm not paused. And pretty much all I have to do usually if I want Mega City ones is I save it, change the name, and see there's the other height map. All I did for the other one I tried, and it didn't like make a distinction between, so Mega City might not work, is just changed it to grayscale. Okay, so we height map. Oops, that's the name of the height map. I need to select the file, Thanksgiving map, open. It loads it up. Sorry, I had to get a drink there. And then I'll click run. Now it will run through all this stuff. If it hits any spot that it has an issue, it will crash and stop, but then you can see where it was at. Sometimes this can take a very, 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 very several hours, day, long time to do. You can get rid of things and add things, but you have to make sure it doesn't cause issues later on. When you get after it does, it like gives you a pause after it does some of the stuff, like the roading rain takes a long time, but it makes the map look a lot nicer. It'll give you a pause and show you what the map's going to look like before it puts the roads in, because the roads are what takes forever. But it will show you what it looks like. If you don't like it, you can come over here. These will be red. You can either hit run, which will keep going. You can hit stop or skip. A lot of times I hit the stop because it doesn't turn out very good. Okay, I'm going to pause you and I'll bring you back once we get to that point. Okay, so we're to the point where right now it's creating the preview and you'll get to see it when I do. Like I said, more likely, yeah. So, I mean, if you want a mega city, that's great. So, I am going to hit continue just because I want to go ahead and make this city in case somebody wants it for their holiday one, and then I'll come back and we'll tweak it and see if we can't get the cities down just a little bit, okay? All right, let's try that. Okay, and then when it's done creating, oops, squeaky chair, you'll get this. It says a new world has been generated. Hit OK. And there's our world. And you can actually scroll in and see the different buildings in the areas. But, okay, now I'm going to tweak, change some things, and this could take a long time, and see what I can do to get it down to where we have less stuff on it. Okay, so before we go forward with that, I wanted to show you this real quick. This is what your output folder will look like. Here's your biomes, which you can change, which we might have to, because it looks like there's almost no forest in there, right? So we'll actually have to change that, which is easy. Just double click it, change your colors around however you want them. And when you start the game up, it'll do that. But here's all your other stuff. And like spawn points. So you would take that. And if you only want everybody to spawn in one position, you take all these out, find the location, put it in there, and that's where they'll spawn. Splat 4, 3, those are like your roads. But okay, so I'll bring it back once if I can get all these tweaks done. Okay, after quite a bit of tweaking and some issues, this is what we have. I am going to bring the forest biome up to probably about here so that we have quite a bit of city in the forest biome. It was supposed to put a city down here, but for some reason it didn't. That's okay. Now let me show you one of the settings I had to do, and this is new. I didn't even know about this. And truthfully, this is awesome because this makes it so a lot of my earlier maps that I really liked and wanted to redo, like the Fractured Isles map, I could actually tell it where to put cities instead of a mask, and the mask never worked quite right. But so what I did is you went into here, and instead of create towns, I did create a single town. So see the position? I had to mess with these quite a bit. This is turned in from a quick video into an all-day thing. But I had to, here's the position. So if we go to here, so you zoom in. So let's say I want to put it right here on the map. That 1503 minus 192, that's the position. And it will start the map there and make it. Now, see, in Tarragon, you can actually look and see exactly what buildings are. See, that's a waterworks. I don't know what these are. A broken bridge to nowhere, I guess. But it does kind of change your map. You know, that happens. And it smooths things out to make it so that there'll probably be hills there. Okay, so now let's load this up. Okay, so the fun pimps. All right, my dogs are going to start barking, so let me pause it and we'll get back to this. Okay, so we're loading in. I actually haven't started this in a while. I don't know if we're actually 2.4.7, I think, is the correct one. So, but oh, look, so we got Dax, Judy D, and B Gaming. Not going to message them. Okay, so we're just going to go to Editing Tools, World Editor. Now let's look for our turkey Thanksgiving map. I did map 1. That was the first one we did. Here's the map that we just did, and it will show version 2.0. So let's bring that up. Okay. This could take a little bit, but we can chat while we're doing it. Hopefully the game noise isn't too loud. Let me just turn that down just a tad. There, that should be a little bit better for you. Okay, and while I've been doing this, I just want to give a shout out to my buddy Chunky Code Monkey. Sorry, I was looking at his stream and he's been streaming Chunkaween, and he was streaming them while I was at work, so I didn't get a chance to watch him. So I'm just watching Night 6 now. He's over on Twitch. Chunky Code Monkey, you need to go see. Okay, awesome guy, lots of personalities, personas, kind of like me. Give him a watch. Okay, so I will tell you, this could take a little while. Hopefully not. It looks like it's moving quick. Let's hope. It always takes a little bit, and if you've never done this, we're actually going into the world. We'll be able to see the world, but there won't be any zombies, and you won't be able to play. But you could actually delete, add, change, that sort of the prefabs. I got my little buddy here, my Hazel, the sweet little Cavapoo dog. She's sitting down here and needs petted because she gets a little bit of anxiety when she's separated from people, and she's a sweetheart. Actually, for many of you that don't know, I have 3 dogs here. The original dog is Gracie, and she is a beagle, and she is 100% my dog. She does like the other people in the family, but... And then the next one was Hazel, the Cavapoo, which if you don't know is a Cavalier and Poodle mix. And then the third one is Raya, and she is a Springer Spaniel, and she's still ornery. Okay, so the one thing you'll see, we're in here, we can go up. You'll get stuff like this. Remember those white lines I was telling you about? Well, that's them. And you know what? For what this map is, this will probably just be a map that would be used for the winter, really? For November, for the holiday. This is fine. You got a barrier. The neat thing is, let's go into dev. We'll type dev, turn dev on, put the gun in there. Whoops. And of course, right there. Now you can change this stuff and even save it, and it's not going to change it. So see, here, let's take Q off. See, you can actually get through there. And you know what? If you wanted to, you could even build a POI here. Now, let's see if this actually leads out. Yep, it doesn't lead out to water, and it drops down there. Let's see how deep the water is. Okay, so back in Tarragon, there's actually a spot, which this isn't horrible. There is actually a spot where you can set the depth of the water. And I didn't play with it, I just left it at that. So this is as deep as the water is. Not bad. But, as you can see, actually it goes down quite a ways before we hit bedrock. So the nice thing about that, let's say I come back in here. Oops, let's go up. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to dig down here. And now I'm going to build my base. out here. And see? You could actually build a base underwater. And it'd be cool. Of course, this wouldn't be that hard because it's not that deep. But like I said, that's something. If I was making a real map, I would play with that. I would get rid of those white lines. But a lot of my maps, I don't use. I hand draw, so you wouldn't have this. So you've got anywhere where there is a change, where that white line, remember we saw the white line in the map creation, that's where it would be. There's in between the legs. So like I said, we will go back in and no, that's enough. Go back in. Sorry, the dog is barking because she thinks she needs to. Let's go here. And we'll show you some of this. Okay, like I said, we will move the line up for the forest biome. That way we can get it. And here's our POIs, the prefabs, our cities. And you can hit map. And it's already set to show everything. And so you can click on anything. We do have a couple. Oops, wrong button. I think that should be. Oh, I forget what those white things are. Oh, I think those are spawn points. Never mind. So that's where you would spawn. But let's go up to the turkey's head, maybe. Whoa, it did a number out here, didn't it? So this is where it gets kind of funky sometimes. So it decided, you know what? We're putting a road going out here into nowhere. So the road actually goes down and then keeps going. Whoa. Here, let's go like this. So the road keeps going. I think that's kind of neat because it gives you like, oh my gosh, you know, the world's flooded. Some of the glaciers melted, and here we are. But it's not, I won't lie, it's not very good at placing the roads. So if this was my map and I'd been working on it, I go in and get rid of all that. And we go here. But that shows you all the maps. Let's just go down here. I'm not going to save anything. So we'll just leave it as it sits right now. Now, let's say I don't like this. So we're going a little bit of tutorial. Let's click it. See, I've got it selected, change colors. Hit escape, go over here, delete. And it's gone. And hit Z, see that blue square? I want to go, let's say I want to put multi-traders in. Now I just added my multi-traders. Wait, was this mine? I don't think this is mine. I have to look. No, this was somebody else's prefab. So see, it's going to show you not the traders, but the people. So that's somebody else's prefab that I downloaded. But so now it's in there. And if you wanted to save in there, you'd have to hit escape and apply, and it would keep it there. But we're not going to do that. We're not going to save it. We're just going to get out of it. And that's it. You've got a map. You could go to new game. You could do it, play on it. You could do whatever you want. So it's not terribly difficult, but it is actually got quite a learning curve to it. So hopefully you like this video. Hopefully you learned something. I will actually be putting this map up on Nexus. Let me bring it up and I'll show you the page. I have to find it. It has gotten moved down. I have too many darn bookmarks. So let me bring this over where we can see it. So this is nexusmods.com. This is actually my area. Ooh, and I've got stuff. I know what that is. But so my multi-trader. So I will put it on here and we'll just call it Thanksgiving map and call it a day. Okay. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. And hopefully I'll keep putting out more content about this here on Lunitar Productions. All right. Have a great night.